friends, it's Vanessa from Vanessa Jordan Photography. Today I'll be teaching you all the InDesign basics you need to know, from editing a template, making a brochure, or designing something completely from scratch. All these tips and tricks are things that will make your life so much easier. So without further ado, let's jump on into it.
Hey guys, so we are going to start. I just have a document up of a freebie that I have. So if you go to my website and subscribe to my newsletter, you'll be able to get this. So we're going to go through a couple of my key basics that I think everyone who uses InDesign should know and that can help your life. If you don't already know, in past videos, I have said how much I love shortcuts. They make my life so much easier, and it's less of me going from the document to the toolbar, from the document to the toolbar, or up here. It just makes it so much easier. So one of the shortcuts I want to teach you is to save. Please, please, please promise me, pinky promise me, come on, hold out your pinky and promise me that you will save whenever you can. I save like every 5 minutes. So the command is either Control S or Command S, depending on whether you're a Mac or PC person. So I don't want you to end up in a situation, which happened to me a lot in graphic design school, that I'd be working so hard on a project and I had it all set, and then all of a sudden my computer freezes or crashes and everything I did was lost. Please, please promise me you save. It just helps your life, and being able to know the shortcut is just a quick thing you can do on your keyboard and just keep moving on with your life. Another one is save as. So let's say I have this guide and I like the layout, I want it exactly the same, but I want it to have different information. So if you do Command or Control Shift S, that brings up the file save option window, so you can save it, rename it however you want to. That one I use a lot more often than I thought I would, but it's really super handy to have. The next one is your selection tool. So let's say you're working with the type tool and you're working around. Instead of going back to select your selection tool, which may seem kind of tedious, like why does it matter that I just drag up there? It just saves you time, and it's a less moving around. The more you do it, the more you use these shortcuts, you'll realize, oh yeah, this life it's so much easier. Vanessa was so right. I hope you say that. That'd be nice. To get back to your selection tool, you can press V, or if you're already typing, let's say you're typing, and if you were to type V, you would type an actual V, which that's not good. So then you would press Escape, which then gets you back to your selection tool. Escape and V. Perfect. The next one is the text tool, like I was showing you before. You just press T and you get the text tool. And if you double click, you can select a word, and if you triple click, you can select the entire passage, which is pretty awesome and is super, super helpful, more than you probably think it would be. So that's pretty great. The next one is if you were to print. So let's say you have a flyer or a brochure or something that you just want to easily print. Instead of going to File, Print, like takes a lot of time, just say Command or Control P, and that would bring up the print menu. And it's super, super easy to go to and like go through. It's not a big deal. It's kind of like any other printing, like in Word or anything that you come up with a print dialog box. The next one I want to show you is the place. I know I've talked about this before in last videos, is the place command. So let's say for giggles, I'm just gonna delete this guy. So we have this empty space. If you do Command or Control D, you can then place. So let's say for giggles, let me get back to my pictures because they're all the way over here. And let's drop it back in there. Perfect. It sits right in there. It's all perfect and fit to the size. And if it ever comes in, I know I've mentioned this in past videos, but I'm going to mention it again. If it ever drops in a lot bigger or it's like super zoomed in, click on the circle button and head over to the fit and framing tools. Either select this first one that says fill frame proportionally or fit content proportionally, depending on what it looks like. I usually say fill frame proportionally because then it gets the crop that I like, but if you play with these two, it'll get you to where you want it to be. Then it will fix it right up for you. The next one I want to show you is zoom. So let's say you want to really zoom into this front cover. Do Command or Control plus, and you can zoom in, and to zoom out, Command or Control minus. Like you can minus out and see how many pages you have, and then you can go back in and see how the quality is looking. Something also I want to touch on is if your document is running really slow, because that can happen if you have like a 30-page document. That's really excessive, but if you do, you can change your display performance. I usually try to put it on high when I can, because then I can see the quality, or else, and then if one of my pictures or pieces of art is less or is in lower quality, I can see it and go back and change it. But you can do fast display, typical display. It's just if you want to view it like we do when we go over here to our preview, I'd recommend going back to high quality so then you can see how everything looks as if it were to be printed out before you actually print it out and waste paper, because we all want to be eco-friendly. And that is and I'm done with my rant. Anyway, another way, especially if you're working with a big document and you don't want to zoom out, drag over, and try to zoom back in, is using the hand tool. So let's say I'm in here, this little guy. Instead of clicking it, you can press the space bar. You can click and drag and move yourself around your document, which can be pretty nice. Like you can also use this in Photoshop. Again, I'll get to Photoshop tutorials in the future. Please let me know down below like what different Photoshop tutorials you'd like me to do. But this is a great one to use to get around Photoshop too, especially when you're working like super into a photo and you don't want to zoom out and lose your place. That one's a pretty great one to learn. And one of the last ones I'm going to talk about is the rectangle tool. I've talked about this tool before, and especially if you're going into a document or you know the size of the particular piece you want to create, but you don't really know how everything's laid out. I typically draw things out on like a notebook or a sheet of paper just to kind of lay it out in my head before I then go on the computer. But if you don't want to waste, let's say again, 30 sheets of paper to lay everything out and figure out where you want everything, another great way is to use this and kind of place everything and say, okay, I want this to look here, I want this there. And it's just an easy way to help your brain know where everything's going, and then you're able to place things in there very quickly and easily. The last one I want to touch on is our master pages. I know I touched on it in the last video, but there are so many things you can do with master pages, and if you want me to dive in more in all the things you can do with master pages, comment down below and I'd love to do a full tutorial on master pages. But something super quick that you can always do, let's say you want to have your company name down here. Type in Vanessa Jordan Photography. And boom. Then when you go back to your pages, it's on every page. So let's say you don't want it on this front page. You'd go back into the master, you delete it, but I'd delete it off of every page. But since the A master, now you see all these little A's over here on our preview, that means that all these A's are a part of the A master. So we're gonna go down to the B master and we're going to put our company name in here. Jordan Photography. If I can spell my own company name correctly, that's fine. So, and then I'm going to bring this over to the other side as well. And to what I just did, I'm going to review. I press Option and click Shift Drag. This is like the best thing to like duplicate something and move it. Option's your best friend. I believe it is Alt in for PC. I have not worked on a PC in a while, so I would have to double check that for you, but I believe it's Alt. So I'm gonna make this text right aligned for the sake of the page. Now we are going to click and drag the B master onto these pages. So then when you look, let's go back. So the cover does not have that, but when you go down to these pages, they all have the name, which can be so useful if you want to put numbers on the page and have them continuously go throughout the document. It's so easy, and you're able to have it, and then no matter what you put on top of it, it won't change, it won't move unless you go back into the master. Master pages are my life. I love master pages, and now I sound like a nerd, but that's okay. So these are the few tips and tricks that I think everyone should know when they go into an InDesign document. As I've gone through in my other tutorials, InDesign is not very scary once you know what the tools are and what they do and how to use them. If you know of any tools that you want me to do a full tutorial on, please let me know down below, and I would love to do a full tutorial diving in on how exactly to use these tools to their best potential. So make sure you go down the link below to grab your full list of all the shortcuts, and then you'll be all set to create your next InDesign document.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to head to the description to download your free InDesign Basics guide. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter to see all of my other day-to-day adventures. Make sure you give this video a like if you like it, and comment down below what else you'd like to see from me. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new video. Until next time, bye guys!